amigos, bajistas del mundo. Bienvenidos al podcast de Janek Gwizdala. Bueno, don't worry, don't fear. I'm not doing the whole podcast in Spanish. Actually, I don't know why I was doing the intro in Spanish, but okay. Here we are. It's been a while. Lot to report. Got the Matheson in my hands. And as you can hear, I've got some effects going on. This is going to be a very effect pedal-centric episode. Because we're going to talk about the selling, the letting go of almost my entire pedal library. Yes, you heard me correctly. You read the title the right way, the show notes the right way. I'm actually getting rid of just about everything I own in the pedal library, and we'll talk about why. I'll show you a few of the things. I've got like boxes here of stuff that is already up on the site for sale. Some of it's already gone. There was a big push a few days ago, and a bunch of nice pieces went all over the world. That's really nice to see. It's one of the most gratifying parts of it is seeing where it goes, see who gets it, maybe hearing back from people as to how they're going to use it. And just knowing that it's going to be out there being used rather than being in my storage back here or up on a shelf collecting dust. That's never where something should be. And I'm getting beyond the collector kind of hoarder element of my life and of owning gear. And we'll talk about that in a little while. And I think one of the biggest lessons I'm learning about this whole process, or through this whole process, is how it's going to really help inform the sounds I go for, like really kind of focusing in on things I'm going to use all the time. I think it's been amazing to have variation. It's been great to make pedal videos. It's been great to have the Pedal Studio series on YouTube and to make videos about stuff when it comes in and kind of comes across my desk and from places like JHS and all the various people that have sent me stuff over the years. But I have so much stuff. It's ridiculous. I'm sure if you follow the channel for a while, you've seen photos. You've obviously maybe heard tons and tons of videos that were just containing tons of different stuff. So really it's about focusing in on what I want to use all the time and then rotating pieces in and out. I've got one sitting on the desk here. I haven't had a second to check it out yet, although I know I'm a big fan of the pedal. It's the Keenatone Ribbons. This is like the latest piece that I bought. Not a sponsor. Paid full price for this. And I've yet to plug it in even, but I've heard so many sound samples that I know it's something even if I don't end up using it and I do end up selling it because it doesn't fit the exact thing I need right now, it is something that I know is in my lane. Right now you can hear the generation loss. Giving me that kind of tape saturation. If I turn it off, that's just the reverb. Get that little wow, actually there's a kind of a song developing there out of nowhere. Wow, I love it when that happens. I'm so glad that got captured on camera. Completely improvised that. I've never played that in my life before, so that's great. We're getting something positive out of the day, and it's barely even started. Love that. So yeah, I got a little carried away there with that sound, but that is exactly what I'm talking about and what I want to talk about. It's about being inspired and really getting the most out of the things I already have. And then, like I said, when new things come in, like this Kinetone ribbons, they're really spending some time and digging into it. I think perhaps the reason I haven't opened that up just yet is because the Generation Lost Mark II from Chase Bliss has been on my board and I've been exploring it a lot. I've been going into just little adjustments here and there and working on it over time. Just got back from Japan last week and had a chance to play it live with this board, with the reverb, having a solo spot in the middle of the show where it was really exposed and really, I kind of got to dig into the stereo-ness of it all because I have the Canvas stereo audio from, the Canvas stereo DI from Walrus Audio. So I was running stereo at the Blue Note at the Cotton Club in Tokyo and with the Mood as well, really, and my harmonizer stuff, like that combination was really fun to experiment with live. So yeah, the Kinetone ribbons has kind of taken a little bit of a back seat in terms of urgency. And I guess the most urgent thing is to get all of this stuff out of here. And I want to share some of what is going because it's been ages since I've even seen it. Like so much of this stuff has been stuck in the closet, not being used. There are a couple of pieces, like actually the first one I'm going to pick out of the box right here that I thought I would never get rid of. Honestly, I thought this was a pedal I would always keep. And it's an unbelievable pedal. It's a stereo pedal, the PN2 from Boss, the stereo tremolo pan. But it's time to let it go. I haven't used it in so long. It's more of I don't know, is it an ego thing that I have one because they're so rare maybe, or they were so expensive, or at least at the time I got it, it was so rare. So Boss stereo tremolo pan, the PN2, it's a classic. It's an unbelievably aggressive tremolo, which is what I loved about it. And that's one of the ones that's up on the chopping block. I'm going to share a bunch of them here. Some of them are totally random. I've got this sonar from Zvex, which is actually another tremolo. And it's the Vexter series, which just means it isn't hand painted or not fully hand painted, only partially hand painted. I think that's what the Vexter series. That's up as well. Some stuff from Exotic Effects, who I think are EWS now. These are really old. This is the original Trilogic bass preamp. Runs on 18 volts, tons of headroom. Really nice pedal. The X Blender, the Mono X Blender, really useful if you need a parallel path. If you follow the channel for any length of time, you know I'm all about that. I have a Gig Rig Wetter box, for instance, on my board right now because I'm running stereo. I needed a stereo parallel path, and I've used many different parallel path pedals, devices in the past. Couple of other random ones. I've got a bass driver, BB1X from Boss, good kind of bass overdrive, and the Mothership 2. This is synth pedal from Pigtronics. So as you can see, it's like some of it's utility, some of it's like crazy weird stuff, and some of it's super regular. Like I've got all these Aguilar pedals, the Grape Phaser, for instance, that's going. I've got a Caveman Audio BC1, the master compressor, which is an unbelievable pedal. Still in the box, still in the wrapping. It's only ever been used in the studio. That is out of here. I don't use it enough. That's the bottom line. And it's huge. It takes up a lot of space. That was another thing as well. It's like, wow, I'm actually going to get some closet space back and have a little cleaner work area, a nicer space to walk into. It all kind of... There are so many layers to it. It's not just selling a bunch of gear, getting a bunch of money. It's really about the whole process and what that does for me, mentally speaking, and just makes me happier, I think, to walk into this room, to walk into my studio and work and know that I have a little bit more of a defined destination. When I look down at the pedals, or what will eventually be the pedals that I keep, I'm going to try and put them up on the wall here. And you'll see them in the videos in the coming months once I've whittled it all down to, I'm going to keep, 20 pieces, 30 pieces, but I have like 200 plus to get rid of. So yeah, that once I've whittled it down, I'm going to be able to walk in and see, I like that chorus because there's one chorus, or it's going to be in a multi-effects like the Stomp, and I'm going to be, guided by my kind of purging here. I'm going to be guided into, I think, a little bit of a better process for making music. Less focus on making videos for YouTube in terms of gear, and more focus on making music. Chorasaurus, Filter Twin from Aguilar, those are both going. All of these, by the way, are up on the website. It's linked below in the description of the video. if you're into looping and you have some space on your pedal board, holy crap, is this sort of the one of the best loopers out there. It's the Eros Loop Studio with the original box. If you're a watch fan, you'll know what box and papers means. So a lot of these do have their original box and like warranty card and papers and all that stuff. I know people who collect stuff that's important to them, and people who want, you know, good resale value if you decide to buy this and check it out and then sell it on. Talking of box and papers, we've got a Boss OC5, something I really never use. That's not my flavor of OC. I'm more of an OC2 person, but I have a brand new OC5 still in the box. I've got a dark glass. What is that? The Element. I've got the Element. Made a famous video about that. Did not go so well at the time. Believe they updated the firmware though as a result, and it's actually a really decent unit. I've got the BC1X compressor, for which I was featured in the product video. It's a long time ago. It's probably 10 years ago that I did that. Again, brand new in the box. Hasn't even been played, I don't think. I'm not sure, actually. Don't quote me on that. A few more Aguilar pedals. I've got the TLC compressor. I did use that for a while, for sure. That got more use than the others. I really like the Fuzzista. Great little fuzz. Chunky, solid build. And, of course, the Optimizer, which I used a bunch back in the day. But, again, we're talking like 10, 12 years ago at least, maybe more, maybe 15 years ago that I was using that when it first came out. And, as we know, times change. Things move on. So they must go. Now, here's one. I mean, this might be one of the most prized possessions in the collection, but it really just never gets played. And I know so many people have asked me about this, and if they could buy it, and they're desperate to get one. And you know, I think there's one out there that's like $2,900 or something outrageous, a price it's never going to sell for. But still, it's the original. The 3-leaf audio Octava in white, the white chassis. It's in amazing condition. It sounds brand new. Few little cosmetic stuff on the back just because there was some Velcro in there. Can clean that off easy. But it's in amazing shape, almost like brand new mint condition. No chips or anything in the paint. That's it. That's going. That's out of here. Something I thought I'd never get rid of, but I think it's going to go to a good home, and someone will enjoy the crap out of it. We've got some old stuff, some vintagey stuff. The Muga Fuga CP251. It's like a CV control processor voltage, control voltage thing. It's unbelievable for sound design. If you have any of these Muga Fuga pedals, you plug it in through these CV outputs in the back. And you really, like, especially this, I had the ring mod, that was already the MF102, I think it is, that already went, and my only other Muga Fuga left on this sale is the Freck box. So that's up there, the Muga Fuga Freck box. It's a great synth, really amazing wave sounds, and like specifically for bass, I thought it was a real sleeper pedal. It's a little bit on the large side for me for synth stuff, and I'm looking for a different flavor. I did think I would hang on to it because I just love the Muga Fuga stuff. It's more and more hard to find. Like this, they're rarer and rarer and rarer as they don't make them anymore, especially the CP251. So if you have any of these, consider getting one of these. If you have any of the regular Muga Fuga pedals, consider getting the CP251 to really mess with the sound and use that control voltage thing for sound design and soundscapes. Is really incredible. It's maybe more of a desktop pedal or device, but it makes some amazing sounds. I've got an Omega, Alpha Omega X. What is it called? Damn it. I get the names of these. One is a Microtubes X Ultra, and the other one is an Alpha Omega Ultra V2. The dark glass pedals, they have box and papers. Didn't play them so much. I did some genty things that required that sound, and they were amazing for that. As you well know, it's a classic pair of classic pedals. This, I forgot I even had. It's so chunky. It's a Sovtek, Electro-Harmonic Sovtek Small Stone. It's a phaser. And it's so chunky. It's of that Sovtek tall font era. It is in absolutely mint condition. Sadly, I don't have the original wooden box. That would probably add an extra couple of $100 to the price, but me not having the box gives you the chance to get it at a not astronomical price, and it's an unbelievable piece. I completely spaced on the fact that I had that, but there it is. It's up there for sale. Big, chunky buttons. Oh, hang on, I'll put it near the mic. Clunk, like a big clunk. Oh, I gotta love that. And the on-off switch. very Russian, very Soviet, very 80s, early 90s. We like very much. And Small Stone, Electro-Harmonic Softic. That's going. By the time you see this, it might be gone. Here's a rare thing, and I think I actually really, I love this, and I really appreciate the features of it as well. It's the Miura K3 DI and preamp. I think what makes it really great is that it has an effects loop. I'm such a big fan of that on DIs right now because I run all my mono pedals at the front of the signal chain through the effects loop to really keep my clean signal as pure as possible. Has ground lift, has a pad, has EQ, has a high pass notch in it as well. It's a great little pedal. It's not cheap. They're really rare. They don't make them anymore, and they only made a few when they did. And yeah, that's it. The K3 preamp. Awesome little unit, and not huge considering all the features it has as well. The fact that it has a DI and an effects loop and it's in that form factor, that's pretty impressive. Here's something you'll probably all have seen before, the ES5 from Boss switching system. Things to note about this: if you've never got into switching systems before and you want kind of a, it's not entry level because it's not like $50, but it's also not like the amazing, like the gig rig stuff, the quarter, like those things which are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. It sort of sits in the lower mid range in terms of budget. It's in amazing condition. I only ever took this on one tour, but I did use it a lot in the studio because you can program it and change the order of the pedals. You can put, how many pedals? 5. You can put 5 pedals in here and change the order of them, make presets where the pedal order changes, which I loved. You know, if I suddenly wanted the effect of the fuzz before the octave and vice versa, that was a really cool thing to be able to program that at the touch of a button. Has MIDI. Yeah, very, very cool unit. That's the Boss ES5. And right now, there are so many freaking pedals, but right now, just for the purpose of the podcast not being a million hours long, we'll go through one more box. Some simple things, some really sort of utility things. The Dynacomp from MXR, the Mini, Dynacomp Mini. Really, really good form factor for what it does. There's another MXR pedal here. The Blowtorch, kind of fuzzy, blown out distortion kind of vibes. Cool pedal, actually. Cool design. And weighty as well. It's got some meat, it's got some heft to it. It's the kind of pedal you think is actually going to make it through a tour or through a gig. I haven't listed this one yet, but I have 2 of these, and I am going to list one of my Electro-Harmonics Sovtech big muffs. I have 2 of those. I don't need 2. I definitely want to keep one because they sound amazing. They both sound exactly the same, actually. They're really well matched. I've run them in stereo before. I'll probably keep the one that's more beat up. And as you can see, it's old. It's been through some things. One has just a battery situation and the other is hooked up to take a regular 9-volt. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to list, but I will list one of them. I've got this Sea Moon Funk Machine from the 70s. I believe this was Will Lee's actual pedal. Very simple, but yeah, it's just a filter. Really, really cool. Very funky pedal. That will be going. I don't think that's listed either. That's going up soon. And then there's some like weird stuff, like some random stuff, like a Meris MIDI I/O. I don't know if that'll ever sell. Do you have some Meris pedals that need the MIDI I/O? I think it's only $50. So that's up there. There was sort of nothing off limits, but some of them end up being like, oh, it's not exciting, but maybe there's somebody randomly out there that needs that. The Infinity 2 from Pigtronics, the dual stereo looper. Really very cool pedal. That's up there. What do we have here? Oh, the Robo Talk from Exotic. Very fun pedal. And then a few things. I have this Beat Buddy from Singular Sound. I didn't even open it. It's still sealed and in the box. Not only do I have the Beat Buddy, which is like a drum machine kind of jamming pedal. Very cool concept, actually, if you want something to jam along to. You know how I always talk about having a loop pedal, having something to give you some discipline of sound. That's a good one. And the foot switch that goes with it as well. Then I got these couple of Aguilar ones. I love these ones, the yellow one and the silver one, the DB925 and the DB599, the preamp and the compressor in the mini chassis. I used to use these as always on pedals. I used to have them underneath, zip tied to the underneath of the pedal board when I was used to use the pedal train, and there was space under there, and they'd be always on, set and forget if I was just basically playing with a clean sound a lot. Another kind of set and forget, but also with some utility, is the EWS Tri-Logic 3. Remember I showed you earlier the original Tri-Logic, this big chunky, oops. Wow, will you be buying that now that I've dropped it on the, well, at least I dropped it on the carpet. It lives, don't worry. So yeah, that was the original, the chunky one, the 18 volt jobby. And then next to it, this is the new one. That's the number 3. Hardly used it, maybe on one tour very briefly. But again, a really good sounding preamp with EQ, with gain, with volume, with some like auxiliary switches as well to get you some different sounds. So for now, that's it. I'm not going to bore you with 200 pedals, but you get a bit of a flavor as to what is out there now on the website. It's linked below. It's at my store on the gear page, and the things are there. They're flying off the shelves. It's really nice to see, and I hope that continues. I really want to empty out this closet. I want to see blank shelves. I want to see empty shelves, and I want to get back to this. I've kind of experienced it a little bit. I think when I put all the pedals in the closet out of sight some months ago, that was maybe the first step in this process. And now it's like, okay, they've been out of sight. I haven't like pined after them. I haven't missed them so much. I haven't really needed to use any of them. So, okay, let's start letting some of them go. Let's start freeing up the space, not just the physical space in the studio here, but like the mental space in my mind, and focus in on the things that really matter. And at this point in my life and in my career, those things are pretty specific, and they change from time to time. And I get, new ideas and different desires sonically that morph and change over time. But it's nice to have sort of a much cleaner palette to work from. So, yeah, it's a new chapter, and who knows, maybe it's a total disaster. I'll get in 6 months, all the pedals will be gone, or 2 months, or 6 weeks, or whatever. They'll all be gone, and I'll be missing them like crazy. Or I'll have to go out and buy another Muga Fuga ring mod for like way more than I sold mine for. I don't know. I don't think so, though. I think there's so much great gear coming on and off the market, both brand new and innovative and used, that it's a healthy time to be moving things out rather than thinking about keeping them. And it's like I said before, when I talked about the Generation Loss Mark II, it's helped me drill down into all of the features. Well, not even all of them, but way more of the features of a single pedal than perhaps I would have done when I had 5 options of kind of the same thing. If I had 5 chorus pedals, I'd swap the pedal out rather than adjust the one unit and see what I could come up with. So this is, I think, freeing in terms of the mental load of having to think about all that gear, and challenging at the same time in terms of being pushed to get way more out of the gear. So yeah, I guess short one today, but chocked full of a bunch of weird and wonderful pedals, a little bit of music, and to let you know that this thing is happening. It's the pedal studio is over. The pedal library is kind of over. Maybe not over, but going to be very, very diminished, shall we say, and focused from here on out. Be more like it'll be more like a boutique than a department store. I think that's the goal here, to go not necessarily boutique in terms of like boutique-y pedals, but boutique in terms of a limited number of things to choose from. And I don't doubt that things will come in from companies, and the number of pedals that I own will grow. There are obviously some things that were just sent to me for very specific reasons for free that I'm not at liberty to sell. So yeah, there's going to be a closet somewhere in the house full of stuff still. But all of this stuff that I can sell, and yeah, it's exciting to see it go. I thought it'd be really sad. I thought it'd be a very hard thing to do. But as soon as I started, I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is super fun to see it all again and to actually let it go and be okay with it. So check it all out. It's linked below in the description of the video. It's all at the store on the gear page. If you made it this far in the podcast, also check out the link to tickets for April 18th, 2026, where I'll be making a new live album with Peter Erskine on drums and Nir Felder on guitar. We're recording here in Los Angeles at Sam First, 2 shows, April 18th. And it's also being live streamed. So if you don't live in LA, Sam First do an amazing job, multi-camera, 4 or 5 cameras set up for a live stream. So you could actually tune in and see the show live. They sell tickets for that a lot cheaper than the live tickets, obviously. So yeah, check out Sam First. That's also linked in the description below. And I will catch you guys and girls, bajistas del mundo, on the next episode. Take it easy.